Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I will be doing a thrift flip and I will be showing you how I took these thrifted clothes and transformed them. This is the before on the first thing I will be doing. It is this huge ugly dress. So I'm starting off by just cutting off a portion of the top. And then I'm going to cut down the seams on both sides so that way I can hem it for a better fit to me and my body. And I didn't really measure or anything. I kind of just wrapped it around myself and kind of just eyeballed how I wanted it to fit. And then I'm going to be laying it inside out with the right sides together because that's how you always want to sew. So you can flip it back out and the seams on the side will look nice. So just going to take my big old pin cushion and pin up the sides so they are ready to be sewed. Hopping over to my sewing machine, I'm just going to sew down the sides of the dress that I just pinned. And I'm just doing that to both sides. I'm just going to flip down a little bit of the top and pin it so I can hem the top to make it look neater. And just for a finished look, obviously you want to hem the top and the bottom. Just going to be sewing along the bottom of that because I pinned at the top, so I'm just going to be sewing along the little bottom edge and hemming that. Now I am cutting off a huge chunk of the bottom because this dress was way too long for my liking. And again, I kind of just eyeballed this. I held the dress up and kind of decided about where I wanted it, so then just chopped it off. There's my cat. And now just folding this over, pinning it, and then I will hem it just like I did to the top. Now just sewing it. This part is fairly simple. Now I decided I wanted to make a little belt to wrap around my middle, so I'm just taking extra scrap fabric and cutting out a huge piece. Ignore my boyfriend in the back. I'll be folding it over so I can sew it and just pinning that. I'm also going to cut out a piece of scraps from that and making my straps. And there's my cat again. So I wanted kind of thin straps, so I cut a thin piece, and you always have to take into account the seam allowance because you don't, when you start sewing and then flipping it right side out, you don't want it to be a different size than what you wanted, so always just take in the seam allowance. And now I'm just going to be sewing my straps and my little belt. Now I'll be taking a safety pin and pinning it to the strap and then just feeding it through. So going back and pushing the safety pin back into the fabric and feeding it through and just pulling it until you have the safety pin on the other side of it, and then just pull, 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 and the strap will now be right side out. And it's a good idea to iron it. I didn't, but you should. Now I'm just going to sew the straps on the back first, and I kind of just eyeballed this. I didn't really measure. And then I tried on the dress, marked where I wanted it, and sewed them on the front as well. And now I'm taking these little gems I got on sale at Walmart and I'm just sewing it right underneath the front of the strap. Just add a little extra. That's what it looks like. And here is the dress, and I added the finishing touches of the belt, and I'm glad I did. I think it was a great decision because it totally changed the look of the dress, made it so much cuter, and I just really love it. So again, here is the before and after. Huge difference. And then here is just a picture of just the dress. Now I'll be creating this shirt that I did yesterday, and a lot of people wanted to see how I did it. I will be using a different shirt though because I didn't film that one. I got this inspo from Generation DIY. Her channel will be down below. So I'm just going to be cutting off the sleeves of the shirt at the seams and saving them because we will be using them again later. I'm going to cut off the top of the shirt. I don't want the collar. And then I'm also going to be cutting down these sides at the seams as well so I can make hem adjustments so it will fit me. And now just putting it right sides together so it'll be inside out, lining it up. I cut off some on the edges to get it to how I wanted it, and I kind of went into like a diagonal shape, and now I will be just sewing both sides together. And now I went ahead and pinned down the top, and I'm just hemming the top. This is doing it the same way that I did with the dress, so I kind of just rushed through this because I just showed that. And then I'm also going to go ahead and hem the bottom. So again, just pinning them down, folding it, pinning it, sewing. So that's the top and bottom hemmed. Now taking the sleeves that we saved, I'm just cutting off the cuffs on both sleeves. And I'm cutting down the seams so it lays flat and open. And I want my sleeves, my straps, a little thick for this top, so I'm cutting it kind of big because again, seam allowance, once you fold it, sew it and flip it right side out. So I am cutting it kind of thick. It is all preference for the strap sizes. I went and ironed them so it was easier to sew, and they laid how I wanted them to. And then I'm just going to be sewing along the edge of those. And then the same way I did with the dress straps, I'm just going to be putting a safety pin on the end of them, sticking it back inside, and then threading it through and just pulling that safety pin through there all the way just so you can get it right side out again, because you always sew inside out so you have clean seams when you flip it. Now I'm just sewing the strap on the back, and again with the dress I didn't really measure the back straps. I kind of just eyeballed it, and then I did measure it for the front for the shirt, and I pinned it into place where I wanted it, and I wanted to make sure they were kind of tight so they wouldn't be slipping off, and then just went and sewed it where I had pinned it down. Next, I'm adding a little black button at the bottom of the straps because I just think the little buttons on these shirts are super cute. And that is the finished shirt. I think it's super cute. I like how it came out. I will practice more on these little plaid shirts, and I really love how the yellow one came out. And again, I was inspired by Generation DIY. Her channel will be down below in my description box. And thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a big old thumbs up. And if you want more thrift flips, let me know. Thanks.